so we've been playing a ton of Age of Mythology. Taylor and I have anyway, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. I haven't gotten great at it. I don't think I'm not as good as I am at Civ. Certainly, having beaten Filthy, the greatest player in the world, handily.
I
As,
saw
as
that
we all
Or-
saw.
live.
Down pat. Like
I have.
You can, I think you need to stop using Ornos so much because at this point you're just like if we're me and you versus a couple of like Titan AI or something, yeah, bust out Oranos. But you got it down to like you're hitting the mark every time. You're doing really well with him.
I've got it down to
But
a
you
science.
just keep using him.
I got my hot. I'm sharpening myself every game. I feel like I got the hotkeys memorized and everything. I'm clickety clack, and everything's down. But so we've been playing a ton of Age of Mythology, and I'm really starting to like real time strategy games. So Chiz suggested Starcraft 2 because it's free if you to get like to download it and to play. I think like the co-op campaign and a few other little things. So you can get a taste for the game for sure. Play against AI, and I've played a little bit of that, and I'm starting to like it. And I'm thinking we need to get good at this thing. Get the Wings of Redemption challenge down. Play Wings of Redemption and some Starcraft. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe it'd have to be like a me and you versus him if he's still got those chops where we have to take him on.
Yeah, I would be down.
Maybe he's slack for a while.
I think he might beat us. Like I wonder what kind of player he is. I wonder if he's Protoss or Terran or if he's Zerg. In the few games I've played, I've played as Zerg, and I think I've settled that that's what I want to learn to play. Those are the videos I'm watching. They're all focused on being a better Zerg.
Tried the other ones yet?
No, I don't want to. From what I've learned so far, with the grid hotkey formation, if I memorize what it does for Zerg, I'll have it memorized for all the races. So I'm just going to stick with Zerg. Because I feel like the learning curve will have a better band to it that way. I'm going to learn one race, and I like what Zerg's about anyway. It's about aggression and like hyper inflating your population really really quickly. Lots of hatcheries, lots of Zerglings, lots of units everywhere. Just completely overwhelming the enemy with how much shit you're throwing at them. I like the idea of playing that way, and I feel like it gives me a big sponge for my. The fact that I'm so new to the game and most of the time don't know why I'm building this building or that building. I'm just building it.
I was always under the impression that Zerg was the hardest to play. I don't really know anything about StarCraft 2. I played StarCraft 1 at like a friend's house a few times, like a handful of times, and learned to play it enough. But I don't know, I played Protoss when I did. I liked that they don't have to wait around while they build buildings. They can just, you can send one worker and he can build fucking everything while everybody else is collecting, and then just, I don't know, I like that. I like StarCraft. Or I think I'm going to like it because it's an RTS game. I just don't like the space future theme as much as like hand-to-hand.
That's true.
Like,
I agree.
I don't like the sci-fi as much as the fantasy.
You know what I would really like to play? I really like the fantasy, like the Minotaurs and the gods and goddesses and such that are in Age of Mythology. I do like that, but I would totally be down to play a game like Company of Heroes. That's World War II RTS. I think that would be fun. You know, building tanks and paratroopers and shit like
Someone
that.
Someone tweeted me that was great.
Yeah. I think we talked to them one time about doing a sponsored video or something, so I know a lot about that game. Like, not really the playability, but you know what's in the game, and it's it's World War II shit. It's all the nuts and bolts.
That'd be really cool. You should look into that. I'm glad you're liking these RTS games. I knew you would because you like Civ, and it's just a more intense microing Civ.
So intense when we play these games. It's just
How is your micro actually? Because I feel like having never played with you. But knowing who you are, I suspect your strategy is really good. You get invested into something in a way that causes you to become an expert. Thank you, honey. But how's your micro? Because that takes perhaps time to develop the skill.
It's more about the hotkeys for me with the micro because I know what units do what. So if I see that he's got a lot of archers up there, I know that I need to pull my infantry back. If I see that he's got a unit that really counters if I got a bunch of myth units up front and I see he's got a lot of heroes, I've got all my myth units hotkeyed to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So I'm going to quickly 5 and then pull that unit back, and then 3 and grab my hoplites and send them forward or whatever it may be. So fast enough to kick the AI's ass.
Yeah, because I watched you learn Civ, and it's wired into you. You thirst for knowledge on how to be smarter at the game, and I was like, I wonder if if it was COD, it'd be how's your aim? Is it keeping up?
Yeah,
with
it's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. When every game starts, I've got three fingers. The three hotkeys that I'm already on is H, G, and V. H is going to take me to my town center. V is gonna spawn villagers. I'm gonna like spam that. So I'm gonna go H, V, 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 and then as soon as I'm gonna grab my first villager and slam G and click because he's gonna plant the granary right there, or the economic guild in the case of Aranos. So I'm doing that literally as fast as it can possibly be done. The first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the game are perfectly programmed out in my mind, and there's no mistakes. I'll waver 5 or 10 seconds up and down over the course.
Once you've got it down, the only thing that'll keep you from fulfilling it is if you get like fucked and no animals spawn near you, or if the gold is so far away it's not reasonable, or like once you get it like the build order down, it's not too hard, and that's a hard build order to counter too, because it's up so fast and you've got units going.
That's
like
why it's the fastest.
It's really easy to take down with Egyptians if you do priests and siege units, because priests will tear through all of your terma.
It seems like,
but then you've got
League of Legends,
an army of
too.
priests.
Like I know it's not lots of small things being controlled, but League seems like a one unit RTS almost, right? Where you're like managing your coming, you're going.
I don't know anything about League.
I wouldn't know if I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
I don't know jack about League other than like basically you've got your main character. I think he's called a hero, and if I'm right, to move him around, you click where you want him to go to, as opposed to like WASD, and God, people are going to hear this and think, Woody has it all wrong, and I might. But I think a big part of the game is, one, guarding your 3 lanes, so some guy plays top, middle, and center, and then managing range correctly. So, like, I hit you, then dart out of your range, and it feels like, at a very high level, like sort of a one-character RTS. But, of course, I think it's 4v4 teams. And you go against each other.
Like that kind of theme exists in RTSs where you like the Herseer Rush, where you send in all those heroes for the Norse, or you make those annoying fucking centaurs with Zeus and then just run those in and shoot their workers a little bit and then just be a bitch and run away, and then like just as they're like getting back to chopping wood.
There's a ton of tactics, and there used to be a really vibrant pro scene for this game, which and there were tournaments like $2,500 tournaments. I've watched videos of these big games like this. And so there's tons of material out there of the best players, guys who like wasted a quarter of their lives up until that point perfecting this game. And so I have that wealth of knowledge to tap into. So I'm liking it a lot, and I'm enjoying getting better at it and better at it. When we play, Taylor and I can play against 4 AI for sure. We've beaten. I know we've beaten 4 human players at once, 2v4, and we probably have beaten 2v5, but there were some noobs mixed in there.
We played, we've only lost, what we normally do is, we get in there and then me and Kyle will be like, you want to do 2v, and then X amount of people join who aren't us, and it'll just be 2v5 or 2v4, and inevitably like 3 games in, we did get beat once.
Yes.
2v5, I think, or 2v4.
It was 4 or 5, but there was a
2v5 or 2v4. We couldn't overwhelm them. But usually it's like we build up, we take a few attacks, and then we just completely, it's just a mighty bitch slap at the end, where it's just kind of like, you want to end this? Because meanwhile, like, my strategy differs from Kyle's in that when Kyle goes in and just destroys your base, desolates it, he's like, on to the next one, and he just sends his guys and they march to the next base. When I invade your base, I destroy everything there, and then I build myself another base while I'm there, and then
it's like while he's slaughtering the men, he's raping the women. Like he's not even waiting. He's raping the women right then and there. Like the town center is like the key. It's the thing. It's your hub. It makes the villagers, which make everything else. It's the key. And so he'll destroy that building first, and then he's got workers building his own town center on that plot while he's murdering the villagers, burning their houses, the granaries, the animals, salting the
You have to
fields.
see the clip to understand the silliness of it, because it's just a huge, garish, awful, colorful battle around the edges, and then just one guy in the middle just kind of like, oh, God, another Tuesday. Just trying to hammer this town center up. And that's how you do it. That's how you have to do that to win, because, and Kyle learned this one of the first few times he played me, and if he, destroyed a base, he'd be like, ha-ha! But he didn't know that I've got, 5 more bases. Every time he leaves to go destroy a new one, I just build that one back up and then go find something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the fun way to play it. And you build your population.
I've gotten really into RTS. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm open to any suggestions from the fans. And if you guys want to come play with us, my Steam is OFPSKyle0. What's yours, Taylor?
Mine is Taylor Merca.
Yeah, and we're happy to play with you. Just hop on there, send us a message. We'll add you. Like I said, lately we've been playing Age of Mythology. We got Age of Empires 2, but I quickly asked Steam for a refund on that shit because I didn't care for the look of it. And
Much older look.
Kyle, your gaming computer, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's a little aged in comparison.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I'm waiting. I'll tell you what I'm waiting on. The point when I have any performance issue with any game that I actually want to play. I put Starcraft on Ultra and had no issues.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. And Starcraft, I guess, is not a new game. It came out around when your computer was made, I think.
All the games we're playing are these ancient games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starcraft 1 came out in the 90s, I think, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not until Starcraft 3 comes out in 2018, which I just made up. And, where you'll be like, I wish I had something new. Maybe.
This thing, I know, spec-wise, this thing is definitely old and slow. It's got the 2580s or whatever in it, I think. But I've never ran into an issue where I didn't have enough juice, except when I was modding Skyrim, and I literally had 38 mods on there before it crashed. I was still pretty happy, and running at 45 frames per second, something like that.
Were you doing silly mods? Or
yeah. Oh, big fucking titties, naked people. There's a vagina mod to make the pussy look just the way you want it to look. There's so many mods for Skyrim. All the chicks are these giant titted, buxom, ridiculous elf bitches running around with different you can pick whether you want them to have a landing strip or what you want. It's outrageous, the
Kyle,
customization.